What's up, everybody? My name is Ethan Teo, representing UHABSA. You're watching Boba with Alumni, where we talk to ABSA alumni and get to know them a little bit better. Today we have Ariel.
Hi.
You may know her as the previous recruiting director, VP of PR, or maybe even the Scott mentor.
Wow,
she
you did your homework.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta do it. But she's been pretty active in the past in ABSA. Graduated in 2020 with a marketing major, and currently working as a creative media manager for Buttercup. Really excited to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's so fun being here.
Super pumped.
Hey.
Okay, so for our boba drink, you said to keep it very simple.
Yeah,
just
always.
half sweet milk tea.
Yep, always.
I got it from Kung Fu Tea, so.
Always, we love Kung Fu Tea. We love
Kung
Fu Tea.
Oh yeah.
Yay.
All right, first sip. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
Cheers. Yum. First sip always hits. Always hits. Yeah.
Okay. Going into the first question, what is an unforgettable memory that you've had in ABSA? What, just anything?
Okay, I feel like I have a lot. I was only in ABSA for like 2.5 years, but in that 2.5 years, I felt like a lot happened. So I have so many, but I think one of like my most unforgettable, like pivotal moments was Scott had a Thanksgiving party at my house.
Okay.
And so we had like, it was like social type vibe, very casual, chill. But I felt like everyone like knew each other. Like, you know, in families, it's like you kind of have like kind of groups, like all friend groups already go into the families.
Yeah.
At this like event, it felt like everyone knew each other, everyone was vibing with each other. Like it was going from people that I just knew from school, from ABSA, to like true friends that I would like hang out with all the time. So I feel like it was just a very pivotal like event. I think we all still talk about it, like even my friends now, like that were all in Scott previously, like we all still talk about that event. We all still like just banter about that event. So it was really, that was like an unforgettable moment for me.
Okay, so that was like a moment where you guys sort of like bonded together as a family?
Yeah.
And just that one night,
Just that one night. Like it felt like we all knew each other, like all the mentors were vibing, all of like the family was vibing. It felt like very like big brother, big sister, little brother, little sister vibes. So it was just all around like a really great like pivotal friendship moment, ABSA moment for me. So it was, that was
your
great.
first experience? One of your first experiences in ABSA? One of your first few?
I don't think so. I think it was like halfway through. So I became good friends with like the mentor group, like my first semester in ABSA. And so I got really lucky because we all just like clicked really well, and I clicked really well with my mentor, who I like now hang out with like all the time. So it wasn't really like a first for me, but it was just like the first moment that I realized like, oh, these are like lifelong friends versus just people that I met in school, you know?
Wait, who was that mentor?
Vicky Tang.
Vicky Tang. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's wild to think she was my mentor because we have such a like casual, like jokey relationship now. So I'm like, damn, how'd you like mentor me?
That's ABSA mentor.
I'm saying,
that's ABSA mentor experience.
It was a great experience for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, going into the second question. For all the marketing majors in ABSA, when did you realize that marketing was meant for you? And is there any like a key tip for marketing majors out there?
Yeah, okay. So I feel like marketing, it wasn't a very like meant to be moment. It was more of like I know I'm gonna go into business because it's very universal. I can like do so many things, be in so many different industries with a business degree, but I didn't realize like when you go into business, you choose a degree. Like when I first went into business, I was like, oh, it's just business. But they were like, okay, you have to choose like marketing, MIS, supply chain, whatever. Like, so I was looking at supply chain and accounting and finance, and I was like, math, it ain't for me. It ain't for me. Like, put me in somewhere where I'm like gonna talk to people, gonna be able to like connect with people. And so marketing was like that for me. It was the most creative like within the business like industry. So that's how I chose marketing. I think something like a piece of advice for all of the ABSA people who are fellow marketing majors, I think just be really open-minded. I know at U of H it's very like sales driven, so you only think like going into marketing, the more classes that you take, you're like, okay, I don't want to be in sales, but I feel like that's all of the field because that's all you're like exposed to here.
Yeah.
But marketing is in every single industry. Like you can go into accounting, like you can be marketing at a Big Four, you can be marketing in retail, you can be marketing in fashion. So it's just a very like diverse, you get a diverse like pool of career paths. So I think like a piece of advice, just be very open-minded. If there's an industry that you really enjoy and you're really passionate about, like you love fashion, go look for internships or social media positions or marketing positions there, because most companies that like you know and you love have marketing opportunities within them. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very sage, very wise advice.
Yeah, for
okay.
sure, for sure.
Thank you.
I try.
Going into like the more professional career side of you, right? Can you talk to me more about your experience being a co-founder at Bakes and Bites and currently working now as the creative media manager for Dress Up Buttercup?
Yeah, so Bakes and Bites was a very like short period of my life, but me and my best friend essentially took a passion. We really loved baking. We really loved making sugar cookies, and so it was very specific, but it was a niche that we thought like, oh, we can so get into this. We can advertise a business and we can build clientele and stuff like that. So it was a great like learning experience being able to build a business from the ground up. It was the very like basic foundation baseline of a business, but it was a great learning experience because you understand like how to price and how to connect with people, how to build a clientele, like how you want to market, like do you want to go on social media, everything from the ground up. So it was very, very baseline, but it was really, really good to just like learn the process because when you're in it, it's different from like learning from the outside, you know? But then that kind of I kind of understood more that I wanted to be like on the more creative side of things, and I didn't want to really go into corporate America.
Sure.
So I interned at Target, and then after interning at Target, that was the only offer that I had full time.
Right.
And 2020 was like the beginning of the pandemic. So no one knew what they were doing. No one was hiring. Everyone was starting to work from home. I was starting to freak out. I was like, shoot, I'm not gonna have a job. Like, what is going on? And then so my only option was to try and find like a last minute job here in Houston or to move to Minneapolis and work at Target headquarters. So I was like, I ain't doing that. Minneapolis is too cold, like not the vibe for me. So a friend from high school actually texted me and was like, hey, my cousin's looking for someone like creative to be on her team full time. And so that's how I got my position at Dress Up Buttercup, and I've been there ever since. A lot of people kind of are confused as to what I do because social media content media manager is very like vague. A very vague position, but I essentially make graphics. I post on stories. That's like my main goal. I make reels, TikToks, kind of just anything content creation. Like I'm hands-on all the time. So that's
trying to get the name out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys can see their link in the description below.
Yeah, she's like a mommy blogger, so it's like not our like generation kind of, but it's really interesting to like see how she's grown from being like just a small town like blogger, going from like writing blogs to being like a 1.1 million follower account. Okay. So yeah, it's really cool to see like that growth. But yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about your ABSA experience. Okay. You know, being the recruiting director, being the VP of PR, and even being a Scott mentor.
Yeah.
You know, how you're wearing green. I just noticed that for Scott, right?
Hey, represent.
Gotta represent. But how did those leadership positions at ABSA shape your life and career today? Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I didn't realize in the moment that it had such an impact, like on how I am, like how my work ethic nowadays. But now that I look back on it, I learned so much from being a leader in like ABSA. And I feel like I just learned a lot of my work ethic. Like in the moment, you kind of don't realize that you're picking up all of these small skills, how to like lead a team, how to communicate, how to write emails. Like I didn't know any of that stuff. And like, obviously you just take what you kind of are given and you like run with it. But a lot of the skills that I picked up being like VPPR, being a mentor, being a director, like all of those small skills, communication skills, all of those things help me in my day-to-day now. I write like literally hella emails a day. It's ridiculous. I'm always working on like verbiage, typos, things like that, just like minor things.
Right.
And then also just how I like lead a team. So we're in the process of like hiring people on right now to just like kind of we don't have enough manpower like right now. So we're in that whole process, but just being like a leader, being a person that like your employees and your coworkers come to for like advice, or how do I do this or how do I do that, and just being able to like I guess gauge how to like manage a person, like how to manage an employee. I didn't really know that I was picking up those skills when I was like a director, when I was a VP. So all of those skills like have picked up, and I basically use them like day to day now. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, being able to sort of lead 3 directors on their own, on your own, like That's a different type of skill set.
And then also just being thrown into a position that you like don't know, like being recruiting director, I knew that like you obviously recruit people, like you know, but I didn't know how to recruit people. I was like, how are you supposed to like, you know, like you just simplify all the tasks. You're like, okay, I need to make connections with people. And so like being able to utilize like communication skills, written communication skills, like in-person communication skills, and then also like learning how to prioritize.
Right, because you're a student as well.
Yeah, you're having to like manage your like student life schedule, and then you're also like the person that people come to ask questions within like the org. Yeah. So it was very like, you just have to pick apart all these things and like prioritize things correctly, which I'm still learning. Prioritizing is like a very hard thing for me, but that was one thing that I like learned and I still utilize like day to day. So yeah, a lot of like small skills that you don't realize you're doing all have helped me through like my day-to-day life. Yeah.
This is sort of this bit that I don't know if you've seen Hot Ones, but we sort of pull.
Is that where they eat wings?
Yeah, they eat wings. They eat wings. But there's a bit that they do.
Yeah.
It's where they show like an Instagram post.
Okay.
And I want you to look. You posted this. Pretty recently, actually.
Yeah.
And you know, you're with your, I think ABSA people, right? And it's actually really interesting to me because you know, you joined in college, especially a lot of people who don't really have that many connections going to college.
Yeah.
They build long-lasting relationships.
Yes.
And I'm sure that's what happened to you.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, did you ever foresee that this was going to happen?
Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. I feel like a lot of the relationships that I have now are all literally, I think all of the friendships that I have now are based and built off of ABSA, like people that I met in ABSA, which in the moment you don't really realize, like you're meeting lifelong friends. Yeah. And then you just continuously hang out. You're like, hey, it's been a while, like let's go grab drinks or let's go like have dinner. And it's just like nice catching up and seeing familiar faces. But I don't know, I feel like the connections there are just like so like 1 in a million, you know? Like our friendships, obviously like I'm not super close to everyone, but it's amazing that like we get to just like come back and like have this huge group to just be like, hey, who was down to go to Chicago? And you're
literally just flew out to Chicago?
Yeah, it was honestly so random. Half the group was going to North Coast, half the group wasn't going to the like rave. I'm not a huge raver, so like I didn't go. But it was just like fun to like be in the moment with like people that you literally meet from like school.
And then just traveling across the world,
it's insane. Yeah. It's insane, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up the interview portion of the podcast. I want to give you 30 seconds to a minute to sort of pitch the camera, anything that you've been working on, anything you want to flex, you know, anything to tell. Spotlight's on you right now.
Okay. I have nothing to flex, but I guess I want to just like tell you guys a piece of advice that like I kind of wish I knew like when I was a student, when I was in ABSA, and that's to just like really live in the moment. I know that sounds so incredibly cliche, and everyone's always telling you, oh, college days are the best days of your lives, blah 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 blah. But I think it's really important to just like focus on the now. I think we get so caught up in like, what are our next steps? Like, what internship am I going to? Where am I going to work? Like, how am I going to make money? And like all these like future steps that are like way down the line. So I think just like take a step back, take a breather, breathe, really soak in the moment, soak in the relationships, soak in the connections that you are building right now, and just kind of be really in the moment.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you for the advice.
Yeah.
Okay, and thank you so much, Ariel, for coming out.
Yay.
And thank you guys so much for watching Boba with Alumni. Stay tuned for the next episode, all right, y'all?
Hey.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
We did it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.